Oh, hi there, my lovely construction aficionados. Welcome to Contractors Diary. I'm your host, Eugene, and today we're going to cover a lot of things. Drywall, insulation, yes, again, insulation, and many, many other things. So let's jump to our sponsor for a quick introduction. Vámonos! Hey guys, so unofficial sponsor of this episode is our beloved Home Depot. Love to shop from them, but I also love when it makes mistakes. And they always come through, to be honest. I got a bunch of free rentals from them for truck and discounts on the orders, free delivery, reimbursements, etc., etc. I'd love the mistakes to be a little bit less because it does put delay into my projects, but today was a perfect mistake on their part because it played out 100% in my favor. I ordered 3 deliveries of insulation. As we all seen the episode about the bib insulation, if you haven't, please go check it out. I'm done with duplex. I just need to blow the roof, but I have 2 other houses that need attic insulation, and that was supposed to be delivered to 2 different addresses. Unfortunately, Home Depot made a mistake and they delivered everything to 1 address, so now I have to move 42 bags of insulation from one house to another. I don't have the means to do that. My minivan is too small, the insulation is bulky, it's not heavy, it's bulky, and the truck won't fit, my truck won't fit that many bags. So they came through, gave me this 10-foot flatbed truck. It has foldable sides and the back, very easy to maneuver, and I'm using it to move a bunch of drywall, doors, and other material from different job sites, consolidated at my yard. So kind of, as I said, plays out in my favor. Thanks, Eugene, for introducing the sponsor of this episode, but let's get back to the video. One of the things that I wanted to cover in this episode is drywalling. As you guys know, I like to do stuff myself, and drywall was not an exception. I thought, easy peasy drywall. Put it up, screw it, next. Little did I know that it's a pain in the ass. We tried doing drywall in the garage to be able to blow the insulation. These 2 exterior walls, we call them exterior because they are connected with the garage. So that wall and this wall, we did them ourselves, and it took us about half a day to put it up, cut out all the outlets, screw it, make sure that the screws hit all the studs, and that's not including the ceiling and that wall. So at that point, I kind of gave up and just called my drywall contractor, and these guys came in and they did both units in 1 day. That's pretty impressive. Granted, I ran out of these metal corner beads, so I still have to do that at the other unit. But if I had that material on site, that would have been done in the same day. So lesson learned, drywalling is not easy. So let's take a look at how things came out and see how they did. One of the challenges they had is insulation was pushing back too much on the drywall, so they weren't be able to use the little screws, the 1 1/4 screw. I had to go and get bigger ones, 1 5/8. Over here in the bathroom, you guys can see that the drywall is a little bit different than on the walls. It's a special drywall made by Papco, called Papco glass. Still 1/2 inch, different texture, and different application. Notice that the screws are different. So regular drywall uses regular drywall screws. These guys need to be attached with zinc plated humidity resistant screws. You can get them at Ace Hardware. They look like that, galvanized. A couple of things I noticed is they went kind of skimpy on screws, especially on the top, but I did pass the inspection, so we are ready to texture, to start the process. Mud, tape, and texture. We're gonna have an imperfect, smooth texture throughout the house. Yeah, a couple, like that corner is not attached at all. Go and address that. should be every 7 to 8 inches on the perimeter, and infield about 12 inches apart. Overall, I am satisfied. By the way, a lot of guys I see that they do a 45 over here. Some texture guys told me that it doesn't really matter because they put tape over it. So it's, I guess, a personal preference. But to make the process faster, I just prefer square it up, and this will still get wrapped at the finish with probably a baseboard, 5.5 inch baseboard trim. But let's go and take a look at what tools you'll need to do a job like that. All right, so the tools. You would need some kind of metal cutting scissors, either straight or all direction for your metals. You would need a hammer. Old school drywall contractors still use nails to kind of set the sheet and then finish it up with the screws. So you'll need a hammer, and they use these kind of screws, these kind of nails to kind of set them in place. Then you need this little raspy thing to clean up the edges of the drywall, special tool to cut out holes. And then we have our trusty little knife, and over here we have our screw gun. So this setup you use for loose screws, and this one you attach to the screw gun and it becomes an unstoppable machine. With collated screws like that, you just go through the whole row, throw it out, put a brand new one, and go non-stop. Very handy. It has its own challenges, corners. Over here, for example, in the corner, it's going to be kind of tough to get it in there, and then up top as well. But infield, it's very easy. You will also need a drywall square. Mine's is 54 inches, just because my walls are 9 feet tall, and I use 2 sheets of drywall, which are 54 inches. That makes the life of the taper easier. You just have one continuous seam, and you would need this tool to be able to make precision cuts. So after the installation of drywall, the process is fairly easy. You clean up all the stuff, and you also pick up your screws. The contractor that installed the drywall doesn't really care about throwing gazillion screws on the floor. So I have a big magnet that's on wheels, and you can roll it and collect the screws, and I use them on a different job site. Just an example, right there, like 20 screws just in one spot. And then we use raisin paper to cover our floors before any kind of mud gets out of the box. It helps us at the cleanup stage. You just roll it and throw it away in the dumpster instead of trying to scrape that drywall mud off the concrete. I always use self-leveling concrete whenever I build something, just to have that nice, crisp, smooth floor, because you never get good floor when pouring foundation. You always get some kind of imperfection, and self-leveling concrete is the best tool to use. You can also use a combination of a grinder and self-leveling concrete just to kind of minimize the cost, because self-leveling concrete is very expensive. I highly suggest, if you're doing a new build or a remodel, use self-leveling concrete or combination of grinder and concrete on your build. So then, what kind of DIY score would I give to drywalling? In my humble opinion, I would probably do something like 2.53. It's not an easy task, maybe because I was lacking proper tools. I didn't have stilts or benches. I used ladder, and it's kind of hard going up and down ladders. Stilts do cost about $800 to $1,000. I ran a crew of 2 people, so it would have been $2,000 just for stilts. I don't do many projects throughout the year, so that's not cost effective. As always, guys, you can leave comments down below to have a productive discussion on if I'm wrong or if I'm right. But we have way more things to cover in this episode, so let's jump to that and have fun. Guys, part of the daily routine of a contractor, if you own equipment, is to make sure it runs. So this guy has been sitting here for quite some time. It's been raining non-stop, so I can't really use the wheel machinery. So I just turn it on, let it run for a couple minutes to kind of burn some fuel, just the basic maintenance. I have some punctured wheels. I think that one is punctured, and I have another one that's right there that's punctured. Tried fixing it, but didn't work out, so I need to address that. And then we have my lovely excavator that the battery wouldn't start, so I had to jump start it with this lovely Christmas gift from my in-laws. Golo. It's one of the bigger batteries that they sell. Starts up to, I think, 10 liters in diesel. Diesel is a very tough engine to jumpstart. I have the NOCO boost. I have the small one for my regular, cars, and I have a bigger one for the trucks, like this little puppy. It's I think it's a 7.3 liter diesel truck, so it's a pretty tough one to start. My F350 is I don't even know what the engine capacity. Oh, 6.0. Perfect. Yeah, the famous or infamous 6.0 that nobody wants to work on. So really important to occasionally start your equipment and have it run for couple of minutes, and of course check the fluids. So for example, check the water separation gauge. That's really important. So let's check it on this one. This one doesn't have a gauge. In order to drain it, you have to kill the machine, otherwise it's going to choke, because you're going to get air into the fuel system. So it's counterclockwise. I don't know why they make them like that, but it's, oh, you see some gooey stuff. I don't know if that's just diesel. Oh, you know what? I added some additive, so that's probably the color of the additive. Like winterize it, yeah. Come on, get back. Perfect. Oh. Okay, let's kill the excavator. Kind of hard doing it by one hand. And the door on this one got bent, so you have to hit the left corner, the right corner, like that, otherwise it won't close. Perfect. So the battery on this one is pretty old, so that's something that I would have to change going forward, but I'm not using them at the moment, so that'll do it. So we're pretty much done on this job site. We're gonna head out to house number 2 to do the blow-in insulation in the attic. Need to finish, keep talking and not into the camera. I gotta finish that one so we can final it and sell the puppy. All right, so I guess I'll see you guys in the attic. Vámonos. All right, guys, so I got my PPE on, my trusty little hoodie, headlamp, glasses. I forgot my goggles, but it's okay. We're not doing walls, we're doing attic. My mask, which is the most important one. So follow me into the attic and let's blow some insulation. The fun part is going to be right there. So I have vaulted ceiling. It's going to be really interesting climbing through that narrow space, but I have my controller, I have my levels, so I need to set that up. That's actually a pro tip. If you're doing installation yourself, make sure you set these levels. This will be able to help you navigate how tall the installation has to be. So I've got that, I got my lamp, full battery, and I got 50 feet of hose. Hopefully that would be enough to get to the other side of the house, blow there, and come back. Alright guys, so I don't know if you can see very well, but basically that's the only space I have to crawl through. Luckily on the other house I have an attic access at the other end of the house, but I will still have to crawl at least to the middle of the vaulted ceiling to be able to blow insulation over here. All right, let's get going. That's a nervous laugh right there. All right guys, finally got to the other side. I got some headroom, and this looks like the master bedroom right here, and then that might be the garage. I think we have a California here, so the garage might be blocked off, but let me get down and take a better look. Okay, so I'm actually standing on the wall that separates garage from the house, so the master bedroom's right there. Let's see if I have enough hose to actually get to the end of the house. I believe they say you can spray 10 feet out, so yeah, I should be able to. All right, wish me luck. And we're blowing. Woohoo! All right. Ooh, a little bit too much. All right, it's kind of hard to do it and hold the camera. Of course, I forgot my little chesty piece, which sucks because it would have been nice just to be a little bit higher than the pipe. All right, guys, pretty much done with this side of the house. Got a little bit of the cathedral roof blown as well. This is a tough cookie, man. Thumbs up and a bunch of respect for the guys who actually do this for a living. Let me show you the finished product. So there you are. I don't know if you can't really see, but we've got some decent layer of insulation. I didn't do much over the garage because it just needs the bare minimum. I honestly don't even know who checks the attic. Out of all the houses that I've done, inspectors usually just climb up the ladder and take a peek in into the attic. They never check the level of the insulation, but you never know, man. It's better to be safe than sorry, and then you have to do this all over again. So you just do what's required, and sleep tight at night. I really like to sleep tight at night, especially with 3 kids. You barely get that privilege, so don't want to ruin it by not blowing enough insulation, man. It's actually pretty fun, I would say, honest opinion. But I would definitely not be able to do this during the summer. But heck no. You all covered up, sweating everything. I'm trying to keep this channel PG. I don't want to be swearing too much, but holy schmoly, that will be some not pleasant experience. I wonder if Mike Rowe did an episode on his show, The Dirty Jobs. I was just listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Mike Rowe, and they were talking about dirty jobs and stuff. For whoever doesn't know, it used to be a TV show back in the 2000s where they would travel the United States and then find dirty jobs and experience that job for a day, as well as just, you know, give a shout out to men and women who do those jobs. It's sewer maintenance people and bricklayers and whatnot, iron workers, a lot of construction jobs, to be honest. I'm gonna be crawling back, and I guess I see you on the other side again. The worst part is to feel all these nooks and crannies. You see, like this little cavity right there, it's so hard to reach. All right guys, let's go and check out the progress. There we are, one side of the house, the back. I blew a little bit more on the edge. And I don't know if you can see without me dropping stuff, but that's the other side of the house, and that's pretty much it. Not as scary as you think, not as claustrophobic as you think, but yeah, very fun experience. As I said, onto the house number 2. We'll see you there. Okay guys, you might not see me, but I'm all PPE'd and ready to rock and roll. Oh, there I am. What's up? I guess this is what it feels to be crawling through a cave or something. So I'm not following the OSHA rules, standing right on top of the ladder. And let's get some physical exercise in here. Okay, let's take a quick tour, huh? We have one sexy little empty attic, just like the other house. The other access is at the very end of this narrow tunnel, which I'm not going to be climbing all the way through. I'm just going to climb like to the middle and then use the hose to blow the insulation. Some of the lingua, if some of you don't know, these are the trusses. They come prefab from a factory, and you just stand them up, attach them to each end, attach them in between with these brackets, and attach them between each other. Plans will indicate where the trusses have to be attached to each other at what location, and then that's where these come from. Then you also attach them over here to have a better to have a equal 2 feet on center spacing. And once again, we have our baffles right there for the airflow. Someone forgot to install one right there, so I have to be mindful of that. I think my battery is dying on the lamp. But we'll see what kind of challenge this attic will present. Yes, without further ado, let's get going. Okay guys, so I'm pretty much done with the narrow part of the house. I have climbed down, so now we're just blowing the rest of the narrow part that I can just reach from here. And you can see the pipe is see-through, so you can actually, if you have the light on it, you can see the insulation, you know, running in the pipe. And if you have any kind of clog, you can see where the clog is. It is, to be honest, a very time-consuming process. It takes forever. I guess if you have a commercial machine that's sitting inside a truck, this process goes way faster, but mine is a little Home Depot rental, so it kind of takes forever. Just gotta be mindful of the eave vents. Alright guys, so we are officially done with this part of the house. Don't know how many bags we've used, but take a look. Can't really see much far. Oh, no you can. Looks very so well. I'm gonna put some insulation on top of the lid, and we're done with this part of the house. We still have another part left, but I think that one is smaller. It's pretty cool. You can hear there's a vent right there. You can hear the air